Welcome back to part 2. If you have not listened to the first part of the general energies of what's going on collectively speaking, part 1 is down below. Click on it. I would highly encourage you to listen to it to help you understand what's going on. In this portion, in part 2, we're going to focus on 3 different piles. And whatever pile you are drawn to, there's likely a more specific message for you with regards to what's going on right now in your life, or what message the universe, your guides, your own inner teacher has for you. Pile number 1, be absolutely still. Be patient with yourself. Don't let your mind wander to distant lands that you do not want to reach. Instead, bring your energies back to your center. This is where your soul lives. Your soul knows your path. It understands your past, your present, and your future. It knows the best direction to take based on your chosen soul's path. And the way to listen to your soul is to be still. And from the space of stillness, you can hear your soul's voice. May this voice guide you every step of the way. It knows no limits. It understands you very well. It knows what is possible for you and what it is that you can and you can't. So it will guide you accordingly. Your soul will never lie. It will never make things up. It's there to please you, if you will. And the pleasure it derives from being of guidance to you, the ego you, is immense. Be proud of yourself. Every step you take on this journey is a powerful step in more ways than one. You may not be able to see it from where you stand, yet your soul knows your journey. It knows that every step you take is a magnificent one, even though you may not see it. What is required of you is nothing more and nothing less than recognition of who you are. And who you are is immense. Who you are is brilliant. Who you are cannot really be defined. For the moment you put a definition or the nature of who you are, limits its potential. Be okay with things as they are for the moment. That is not to say you cannot ask for more. In fact, we do encourage you that you do ask for more and go about it accordingly. But if you ask for more, ask from the space of your inner awareness that ultimately understands that receiving more requires your full participation. Participation in the possibility that yes, you can, versus the no, you can't. If you participate from a space of smallness, small is what you will create. And that too is perfectly okay. There is no judgment in that whatsoever. Beautiful. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself more often. Pile number 1. Spiritual strength. This is what is required of you right now. You are going through some pretty dynamic changes right now. They're not small changes. These are internal changes for the most part that will be externalized in some way. The message I hear is your spirit has your back. You are walking out of your own confinement. There is bigness to you that you cannot necessarily see with your physical eyes. Yet you can tap into it. So you're being challenged right now. 9 also represents letting go. Spiritually speaking, pile number 1, you're going through some pretty dynamic changes. Doors are opening for you in ways that are unexpected. Therefore, I want to say, leave your expectations out the door. So if you expect things a certain way, chances are what will transpire will be more of the unexpected. And this is usually when I get tickled, when something shows up in my reality in the most unexpected way, with the outcome that is far greater than what I have expected, simply because I recognize that what I expect is based on my thinking that's limited and based on my past experiences. Don't shortchange yourself, not for a moment. And when you do, recognize that's what you are doing. And recognize that the part that is shortchanging you, or part that is within you that's shortchanging yourself, is the part of you that is afraid. Yet don't let this fearful part of you drag you along on its journey, if you will. Instead, recognize what part of you is afraid and find the courage to face it. Look it in the eyes and ask the question, what are you ultimately afraid of? If the word is failure, ask the question, whose failure? Because you can't fail. You cannot fail at life. Now, in order to accept that, you have to go beyond the traditional thinking, okay? The only way we fail is if we keep on repeating the same thing over and over again without learning anything from it. Then we're failing. Everything else is opportunity for growth and opportunity for expansion. You see, if we didn't fail, we wouldn't learn. Now, does that mean that we only learn through failures? No, but chances are the level of learning that happens through failures is great. Someone told me a long time ago, give yourself permission to fail. Don't fail deliberately, but give yourself the permission to fail. To fail does not mean that you are a failure. Hear me. To fail does not mean that you are a failure. You are simply having a human experience. Be brave. There are a lot of things ahead of you which you cannot see yet. But if you could see it, you would say to yourself, oh, why was I worried so much? But because you can't see it, you don't have that comfort of knowing that everything is going to be more than okay. Practice being still. Knowing who you are is of utmost importance. Knowing who you are in terms of your inherent abilities and knowing who you are in terms of your limited ego. Because your limited ego is going to be standing in the way of you embodying the inherent abilities that you naturally have. Ask for more out of life. Don't beg. Begging is unnecessary. If you beg means you don't trust. Simply ask and know that it is given. But you must let go of your need to control the how and the when and then from what direction. You have to leave room for the universe to do its job. You've sent out the request. The universe now obliges to bring that request into your reality. But you have to let go of the need to control it in your own way. And that is not always easy. I understand that. Okay? Finding more inner peace is very important right now. Remember, we are in a process of, what's the word I was looking for? Recovery. Thank you, recovery. Patience is required. Time to rest is required. Meditation. You are a strong being. Whatever you're going through, yes, you can. You can handle this. May not always feel like it. At times it might be very difficult, but yes, you can. And here's what I'm hearing. You didn't come into this world to fail at this thing called life. That is not why you came here. So if you're fearing failure, failure is not even an option. Unless you keep on doing the same thing without learning from your experiences. Then I agree with you. Okay? But chances are that's not you. Okay? Pile number 1. Wow. That was big. Pile number 2. I want to say shake yourself off. Shake yourself off. Shake off the dust. Shake yourself off. You've taken on a lot of debris that doesn't belong to you. Other people's assumptions, other people's beliefs, other people's understanding of life and what it's supposed to be or isn't supposed to be. Be your own person. Tread your own ways. Oftentimes, you will feel alone on this journey as you go through this process. You may feel isolation. You may be feeling that right now. If this is the case for you, the process of isolation is important in order for you to face you. There are certain things that you are needing to face within yourself. The monsters we often speak of, the inner monsters, the inner devils, if you will. No religion connotation to it whatsoever, just a figure of speech. And facing these inner monsters is not always easy. I would encourage you to take advantage of the transformational tools because quite a few of them have a way for you to face these things, these aspects of yourself. in a way that is non-threatening and quite pleasant. Okay? Being yourself more is very important right now. Help me understand what that means. If you are not being yourself, then who are you being? And if you are not being yourself and you are being on somebody else, the question is why? Is it because it's easier in some way to not be yourself? And if so, why is it easier? Because I'll tell you one thing. If you are not being yourself, you are ultimately being at odds with yourself. And it may be temporarily easier, but long term, it's not easy. It creates an inner struggle. What are some of the assumptions you hold about yourself that keep you in your inner prison, in your inner confinement? Why do you believe what you do? Why do you believe what you believe? Why do you believe that? If you believe that you're not going to reach something, why do you believe that? Is it because someone else told you? Is it because what the society believes and leads you to believe? Why do you believe that? And more importantly, do you want to continue to believe that? If it serves you, by all means, continue to believe that. But if it limits you in some way, if it prevents you from embodying your full potential, you might want to ask yourself, what would I need to believe instead? And go about it accordingly. Remember, what the mind sees, the body goes after, the body follows. If you ever listened to any talks of Joe Dispenza, he has an amazing way of explaining it in a very almost scientific ways. I find his content to be very digestible to the 3D human being that is not necessarily, can I say, highly spiritual. Although even when I say the word highly spiritual, we're all spiritual. We're all spirit having a physical existence. Who are you responsible to? You or your neighbors? Now, of course, that's a metaphor. Neighbors could be your mom or dad, your children, your spouse. That is not to say ditch your responsibilities. But where is your responsibility to you and your own happiness? Which comes first? What keeps you awake at night? What ruins your inner peace? What stands in the way of your inner peace? Heck, have you ever felt inner peace? Peace is where you come from. Peace is inherently in your nature. Not the necessarily human nature, but it's in your nature. And your humanness or your ego may be standing in the way of you embodying that peace. It's important for you to acknowledge that and to perhaps recognize what human aspect of you, the ego, is standing in the way of you embodying inner peace. That is not to say that we are here to experience only inner peace 24/7. No, if that was the case, you would not have volunteered to be a human. So it is absolutely okay that sometimes you don't have inner peace. Of course, that's very normal, very expected. However, if you've never experienced true inner peace, not even for a moment, you've got to look at that. What is blocking that for you? What is standing in the way of you tapping into it? What sort of beliefs do you hold about yourself that do not allow you to feel inner peace? To have inner peace means you are not at war with yourself. You are not at conflict with yourself. And if you are a human being, chances are you are at conflict with yourself to some degree. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no judgment whatsoever. But you are here listening to this because on some level your soul is helping you transcend your inner conflict. In other words, your soul is guiding you to see yourself beyond the conflicting aspects of yourself. Because the aspects that you are conflicted with are not even real. They are all, after all, figment of your imagination, and I know that's sometimes very hard for the human mind to grasp. It is even hard for me to grasp. There is nothing other than what is in the moment. There's no future, there's no past. It only moment is the only thing that exists. Is the only now moment is the only thing that exists. What's in the now, what's within you in the moment is what will create your future. So within your now, what is at conflict? What are you conflicted with? What is standing in the way of seeing your inner beauty? What is standing in the way of seeing your inner magnificence? Were you told you were fat? It's what I'm getting. If that's what you were told before, it was somebody's opinion. And perhaps you decided to believe in it, but perhaps it wasn't a conscious decision. You just accepted it as truth. Now, whether you were quote unquote fat or not is not even the question. It's how you felt about what was said to you, how it affected you. So I don't know why I use the word fat. I don't like that word. I used to deal with that myself a lot. So I don't like that word. It feels very, very judgmental. But somebody out there listening to this has been called that before. And it shattered you. It made you believe that you are less than you really are because of somebody else's opinion. Now, you can substitute the word fat for anything else. You're not courageous, you're not pretty, you're not capable, you're not whatever words that were used that acted in a way that then limited your potential. Chances are these words are still running in the back of your mind, helping you create your now or your future. Let the snake be your symbol. So the first thing I get about the snake is the snake sheds its skin as it goes through a rebirth process. The snake, when it sheds its skin, it becomes momentarily blind, and that is very vulnerable space. Snake is also a depiction of inner power. I am not connecting to the negative connotation of a snake, like liar or cheater. That's not what I'm getting. I'm getting the positive aspects of a snake, the empowering aspects of snake. Let snake be your totem, your symbol. what do you get for pile number 2? Essentially, whatever you want is within your hands. Now, I'm having conversation with my team who is saying these words to me and saying, well, yeah, easier said than done. And they're saying, yes, we know this. Nonetheless, you are capable of creating pretty much anything you want, even within your own physical limitations. But you have to believe it, because if you don't believe it, you're not going to pour your energy into it. You're going to hold yourself back. You will pour your energy halfway. You know, when you give your energy halfway to something, you only get back half of what you could get. So your commitment to this belief, your whole commitment to this belief is absolutely critical and necessary. Now, it's very easy to say, hey, believe that you can, where you've been trained to believe that, no, you can't do this. Are you crazy? You can't attract that. Are you crazy? You can't have all this money. Money is only for blah, blah, blah. If you've been trained to believe that, or whatever else you were told or conditioned to believe, it's now deeply in your unconscious thinking, and it's just part of your ego structure. So it's easier said than done. It's not easy. If you say, I believe, but a big part of you doesn't believe it, you basically are in denial to what is true to you. It's time to stand up for yourself. It's time to stand up for your own beliefs. What do you believe? Do you believe that you can? Great. Go for it. Say, universe, I believe I can. I have no idea how to do it. No clue. I want you to help me figure that out. On the other hand, if you don't believe you can't, you can. All right, let's work with it. Why not? And is it your belief? Where does this belief belong to? Who did you borrow it from? Was it from your mom, your dad, your society, your teacher, your sister, your brother, your friend, your spouse? Does it belong to you? Does it even belong to you? Chances are it doesn't. Recognize that. Look at this. Harmony. The Lovers in a traditional tarot deck. To me, it's all about balance, yin and yang. Balancing your own energies. Now, this may speak to you and some sort of a love relationship and needing to look at something within your own relationship to your partner or relationship to yourself in order to bring more balance. And this is not only the message that there is more balance coming your way, but this is a message asking you to commit yourself to a more balanced way of being. What does that mean? Well, for example, this is just an example. If you only work, and you don't take care of your physical, emotional, spiritual needs, then you are out of balance. And if you are out of balance for prolonged periods of time, you're going to suffer. Because certain aspects of you will not be nourished and will not have its needs met. You may be in a relationship that is out of balance. If you are in a relationship that is out of balance, ask yourself, how do I add into this imbalance? Recognize that a relationship involves you. Your relationship involves you, and you play a part in it. Not a blame, recognition. If something is out of balance in your relationship with your partner or with yourself, recognize it and then ask yourself, what can I do to change that? What can I do to change that? And what is required first and foremost is commitment. Number one, commitment. And stick to itiveness. Stick to it. Stick to your commitment. Align yourself with your higher purpose. I don't know who this message is for, and I'm not going to over explain it, but align yourself with your higher purpose. Which means chances are you know what your higher purpose is, but you're not in alignment with it. The question is why? Are you too busy? You don't know how? You don't have time? You have other commitments? Maybe you don't know what your purpose is. Now, this whole idea about purpose is kind of interesting because there's gazillion purposes why we are here, but the number one reason why we are here is to create. It's to experience. But as a soul, you are born with certain gifts, you are born with certain vibrations, and you have a certain way about you. You have a certain personality, certain traits. There are certain things you're really good at. There are certain things you stand out with because everybody has something that is unique to them. So it doesn't mean that your path has to be a healer or you're saving somebody. It doesn't have to be. It could simply be your higher calling may simply be being true to yourself. Are you not being true to yourself? If the answer is yes, okay. Why not? Why not? What is standing in the way? Okay, so pile 2 talks a lot about balance, bringing more balance into your life, more balance into your relationships, more balance into your own relationship with you. And many people that I've worked with over the years, including myself, are out of balance with themselves. And it's been so long that they don't even see it anymore. They just got used to it. Okay, so bringing more balance into your life is what is required here as part of your restructure, if you will, or your recovery process. Now, let's move on to pile number 3. You are in the process of opening a certain door. Doors to me always represent new adventures, new opportunities, newness, something new that has not been available to you before. And you're trying to figure out what keys are going to open this door. Keys to me, in this instant, are a metaphor for information. So there is certain information that you are trying to use, is that the right word? Implement, thank you, in order to open this door. But it's not opening. The door is right in front of you. It's waiting for you to open the door, but it's for some reason you're not tapping to the right information. And here's why. The information that you need in order to open this door, this opportunity, this newness, the next phase of your less limited potential, is currently outside of your range. You can't see it. You're too busy trying things you've already tried before. You're trying what has been. You're trying the familiar. You're trying the whatever you have at your possession. And I feel like there is new information that is going to become available to you in some way, shape, or form that's going to come to you, but you have to be open to it. And this information is from higher source. So you may be talking to somebody and they may give you some information that they perceive from some higher source, and this information is going to help you open that door. It may come to you from you tapping into higher frequencies yourself, which could be through meditation, self-hypnosis, past life regression, anything that's coming up like that. Going deeper inside of yourself and recognizing your own inner dialogue. because I feel like there is some change happening inside of you, and it's very profound, it's big, and it's causing a certain tension. It's causing a certain inner tension. And it's almost like you're trying to open this door from a space of anxiety, feeling anxious. So something is happening and you're feeling anxious and you're trying to open this door. Thank you. You're trying to force it to open. And what I'm seeing here is you're not going to force the door to open, because that's not how it's going to work. You have to approach it from a different angle. And I want to say this, let someone help you approach it from a different angle. Someone who is not emotionally invested in whatever it is you're trying to do, so they are very objective. They can see things better than you can because they're not in the situation that you are in. They're more of the observer, which means when they're the observer, they're less likely to be influenced by all of the emotions that you might be experiencing right now. Okay? You are in a rebuilding phase. So something is tumbling down in order to be rebuilt. And you are trying to rebuild it really fast. Like I just want to do it. I just want to do it fast. No. It's not how it works. If you are trying to rebuild it really fast, chances are you're going to rebuild it the same way you had it before. And the reason why whatever you had before is tumbling is because you've outgrown it. It's no longer serving your higher purpose. And I feel like you are trying to rush. You're trying to rush to open this door. You're trying to force it. And the universe is like, nope, nope, nope. Just accept it for what it is right now and be patient and notice what is being triggered. What sort of stories are running amok inside of you to make you want to do this really, really fast? Chances are there are some fears that are creeping up for you right now. Remember, we talked about this in part 1. It's part of the process. In fact, if fears were not coming up for you right now, I would be like, wow, you're one of very few people that's not being triggered right now. And the purpose of these fears being triggered is so that you can recognize what they are, so that you can deal with it, so that they're no longer in front of you, they're behind you, and they're not blocking your progress. Progress is not the right word. Blocking your potential. Let's use that analogy. Also, you need more fun in your life. You need to get away if you can. Short trip, long trip, few hours. You need a change of your environment. You need a change of scenery, because I feel like you're going in circles. You've been going in circles for a while. And actually, as a matter of fact, some of you may be experiencing dizziness. Okay? Vertigo, dizziness. Obviously, if this is what you're experiencing, go get it checked out. But from what I'm sensing, if you are this person experiencing this, chances are it's whatever it is, it's just too much. It's too much. It's too much. Look, you are in the process of big ass transformation. We talk about the snake in pile number 2. So if you're drawn to pile number 2 and pile number 3, there is additional symbology here for you. Okay? You are being asked to face certain things. You're being asked to face certain fears you have within you. And from that, and by the way, you can't escape this. Part of your path is to face your fears. Okay? And you're on your path. Even with what's going on, you're on your path. And facing your fears is not easy. Perhaps you need someone to hold you to hold your hand, to hold your energy, help you hold the energy, to hold space for you as you face your fears. One of the most important things that I do with my clients is I hold space for them to unravel, to get things out of their energy, to release. And oftentimes we need space for that. Okay? Perhaps you are someone who is the helper to everybody and you are the one needing help right now. And perhaps you don't know how to ask for help. Maybe asking for help is a trigger for you. In fact, if you're listening to this, chances are that asking for help is a trigger for you. If that's the case, ask yourself the question, why? Why is asking for help a trigger for me? What does it trigger? What sort of insecurity or fear does it trigger within you? Why is it bad to ask for help? Perhaps your idea of asking for help means that you are a failure. Whose idea is that? Okay. So this is what I have for pile number 3. Big kick-ass transformation. And the sooner you face whatever it is that you are being asked to face, the sooner you can go on and just flow with whatever is coming in that's new. But the door that I'm seeing, the opportunity that you want, whatever it is that you're trying to force, you're not going to be able to force it until you face this. Okay? Download the tools that I've talked about before, transformational tools, see how far you can go with those. They're going to be, I believe, very helpful. And of course, if you feel you would like to work with me and my team, I would be delighted to help you face whatever it is that you need to face. Okay? You're not alone in this, by the way. You're not alone in this. All right. Remember to listen to part number 1, which is going to be very important. It's going to give you a lot more information. And click like, subscribe, share this with a friend or two. Let me know if you like the new format. I'm being guided to do this way for several reasons. I'm not going to get into it why. One of them is the YouTube algorithm does not favor long videos. And I just want to see how it goes. So I'm changing again as well how I do things. So I hope this was helpful. I look forward to seeing you again. And take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye-bye.